Manoj.
Yes, sir. Morning, sir.
Morning, Manoj. Manoj, introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. My name is Manoj Jha. I
Hmm.
have completed a bachelor's business administration from Sikkim Manipal University in 2012.
Hmm.
Thereafter, I appeared in CDS.
Hmm.
I got recommended from Allahabad board. I
Hmm.
couldn't continue with OTA. I was
Hmm.
selected for OTA, but I couldn't continue because of my lumbar lordosis problem.
Hmm.
Then I came back again, worked in the workforce management, the
Hmm.
ITES sector,
Hmm.
and after 2014, I
Hmm.
started preparing for civil services.
Hmm.
Since 2007, after my class 12, I have been working,
Hmm.
and there's been a gap of almost 3 years because,
Hmm.
in fact, 3.5 years because I was giving full into full preparation for civil
Hmm.
services.
Where you were working?
So from 2007 to 2009, I was working in a resort uh,
Hmm.
where I did my schooling in Bhimtal. Then
Hmm.
2009 to 2012, I worked in Intelinet Global Services, which is in
Hmm.
Mokla. It's a
Hmm.
BPO. Uh, I worked there in their inbound sales campaign, and
Hmm.
then I moved via promotion to workforce management.
Hmm.
And from 2012 end till 2014 end, I
Hmm.
worked in iGate. That's now Capgemini.
Hmm. Just Manoj, tell me, how did working in these areas or in these organizations enrich your personality?
Sure, sir. So every organization had offered me a different
Hmm.
opportunity and an avenue to grow with. For example, sir, in 2000, to begin with, in 2007, when I started working, I wasn't sure as to what I'll do after plus two
Hmm.
because I was not financially sound. So I worked there
Hmm.
for 2 years in nearly all the department. It helped me
Hmm.
grow. It nourished my personality. I could speak to
Hmm.
people. Initially, since I was from Shishu Mandir, my English wasn't
Hmm.
even good. But then when I
Hmm.
moved to a convent school and then I worked in a resort, it opened up
Hmm.
my personality. Now, one of my hobby is to interact with people, and that is
Hmm.
something I got from working in the resort. Second,
Hmm.
when I was working in inbound sales campaign, that further nourished my personality because I was speaking to Americans and Europeans because I was
Hmm.
dealing with their hotel, car, package industry, flight
Hmm.
industry for nearly 3.5 years.
Hmm.
So then, when I completed my graduation and I moved to workforce management, which is part of human resource, I
Hmm.
eventually dealt with almost every aspect of the organization, be it
Hmm.
how much one employee costs to the organization, how
Hmm.
we can reschedule him to get the maximum productivity,
Hmm.
and what is real time scheduling of the employer, the contingency plan,
Hmm.
um, and then also though it was very short stint, but even when I went for SSD, I realized that there's so much to life and
Hmm.
apart from the corporate world. And in
Hmm.
fact, from there onwards, since I couldn't get into army, so I
Hmm.
thought let me look for a second best opportunity.
Hmm.
So if not military service, then public service. And
Hmm.
from there onwards, I have been
Hmm.
preparing for it. I couldn't. That's it.
Uh, Manoj, with this vast experience, uh, how can you promote this campaign? One district, one product in UP.
So
Take the example of any district, any product, and how steps taken by you to promote that.
sure, sir. In that perspective, I'll take Bhadohi, which
Hmm.
is famous for its carpet industry.
Hmm.
So when I was in Bhimtal, in fact, I was
Hmm.
surprised that at that time I wasn't even aware that how these carpets are made. Those
Hmm.
carpets were really heavy, and for some strange reason, the place where I stayed were mostly Anglo Indians. They were inhabited by Anglo Indians. They had this carpet, and after when I started preparing for civil services, I
Now
came to
just
know
tell,
that
Manoj, just tell me the three steps you will take for the promotion of carpet
sure, sir,
or export of carpet. Yes.
sure, sir. So there will be 3 points.
Hmm.
First, to make sure that the artisans who are involved are
Hmm.
aware of the latest technology that they can afford. If not, then
Hmm.
if we can provide them with some cluster-based technology where they can share and pool in their resource. That's the first
Hmm.
category, to make sure that the product is worthy for the international market or
Hmm.
even for domestic. Then creating a market linkage, either through either financing them through their self-help group or by the bank financing, because they are in part of even micro small industry, cottage industry. And the third thing is that's ensuring that they have a voice in international export and other market scenarios. So for this, I will not just rope in for the government support. I'll also ensure that the industries which are involved, for example, the hotel industry, which uses these traditional things to lure in more customers, uh, and
Okay, Manoj, nice talking to you. Now over to Snehiji.
Manoj, can you hear me?
morning, sir. Yes, sir, I can hear
Morning.
you.
Ah, uh, just starting with the talk with the chairman, sir. I have listened that you are aware about the um, carpet industry in Bhadoi, but I want to know one aspect of Bhadoi, that uh, there is a majorly two raw materials for the carpet industry. One is jute and another is wool, and both are not present in Bhadoi. Then even then, why there is a carpet industry only in Bhadoi?
Sir, I would beg to differ. It's not only in Bhadoi. While I was going through one district, one product program, I saw
No,
that.
I want to know. I want to know regarding the Bhadoi. Why there is a localization of industry in Bhadoi?
Uh, Sir, I do not have the exact answer, but I think it's related to the the artisans who have settled and they have carried forward that trade with them.
Okay, okay. That's good answer. Actually, that good answer. So, and moving to another question, why there is another lockdown in Bihar?
So in Bihar, sir, since the state is one of one of the state in Bimaru, and it is severely lacking in health infrastructure. The way the cases has risen, and though whatever the politicians say, so the administration knows that it cannot control if it goes in the drive that Maharashtra and Delhi has, and in fact in Tamil Nadu has went to. So it is actually a precautionary lockdown to make sure that the spread doesn't go any further, to keep it within manageable limit. For example, if we have 2,000 patients coming in, at least we should have nearly 1,500 or so going out after being cured, so that it can remain like any other disease, which is manageable.
Okay, Manoj, according to you, the health infrastructure in Bihar is still bad, and even it is in Bimaru state. So, uh, giving the 15 years to a government, do you think that now it is the time for change?
Surely, sir. Sir, in fact, it's not just the case of Bihar. I like to call in for the entire country. We have been spending way too less, and sir, health is a public good. Uh, Even when I have seen in my nearby, I have seen private sectors doing so well. There's a specialty hospital, so much of health and nutrition administration going on, but the public sector is severely lacking. So what
Okay.
so what we can do, sir, is we need to ensure that since market or the private sector will not really fill in for the public good, because they are profit oriented. If the people like us, if we have the paying capacity, then they will cater to us. And why we have created state or the government to look after us, to provide us basic necessity. Law and order is one of the aspects, but health and education, these are the also important parameters.
So, my last question, Manoj, should we defer the election of Bihar as the opposition of the Bihar is demanding for the deferment?
Sir, I would like to answer this based on current corona pandemic. Sir, since this is not a ballot box election, it's a touch point election wherein we have to press a button. Uh, so people are already learning how to vote in for the right candidate. And if we are touching and if we don't have proper gloves, masks, then there is a chance that it may spread. Even if there is a proper sanitization facility, like you wash your hand and do the sanitization. So then even in the election campaign, the people who will face people who will campaign, if there are people who are gathering, so election e-rally will not really work in Bihar because sir, if people don't have technology, how will they refer to their leader? How will they listen to him, or will ask even question? It will be hijacked by few and even vested interest or by media.
Okay, thanks. It was nice talking, Manoj. Over to Rishi sir.
Hello, Manoj.
Good morning, sir.
Can you listen me?
Yes, sir.
Manoj, labor law falls under which list of the Indian Constitution?
Sir, it falls in list 2, the state list.
It is in state list.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
And why did the UP government relax the labor law for the next 3 years?
Sir, UP brought in nearly 35 lakh migrants. There were skills, semi-skills. So what UP is doing, it's actually quite amazing. It's trying to do the skill mapping and trying to utilize the Skill India campaign to it, apart from unskilled work in Manrega. So in order to boost the industry, it wants to ensure that...
Are you speaking about the Uttar Pradesh Atmanirbhar Rozgar Abhiyan or the question that I'm asking?
So both have linkage. Why it relaxes is because it wants to make sure that the industry doesn't
relaxation of labor law, will it be helpful to the labor of UP?
Sir,
and why did the labor or the trade union has gone to the ILO?
Sir, that's what I'm coming to. I have some reservation to it as well. Though relaxation is good, but in the form of relaxation, it's been stretched too far. So wherever we have a group, let's say, what is an organization? It's consciously coordinated activity of 2 or more people. So if 2 or more people are working, then they should have a collective bargain. But in the form of...
Okay, Manoj, tell me why does the Labor Commission has been formed in UP after the reverse migration that was happened in UP during COVID-19? What is the purpose of Labor Commission there?
Yes, sir. The purpose is to streamline the demand and the supply with respect to the labor, and also to ensure that the proper skilling, reskilling, and upskilling can take place through various policy guidelines. And there is one more task to it. I'm not sure if it is under Labor Commission or not, but whenever the people, the employers, a big sector employer will ask for UP labor, I guess it is tasked to also ensure that they are properly given the safety and security architecture with respect to social welfare.
Mapping is not required for the migrant labor.
So it is required, which I...
so Labor Commission is not doing the mapping of the migrant labor now.
Sir, I think...
Okay, leave it. Manoj, you see a lot of MNCs are now investing a huge investment in India, like Google, like you see the Walmart, Facebook. Don't you think, is it the new face of imperialism in India now, of the MNCs?
So I have a certain different opinion.
Yeah.
This is all driven by purchase power parity. And the globalization can only be fruitful to us or to any country or any place if the people have certain basic understanding of how it works. For example, sir, if I open my market, if I have the money to pay, that is, I have the purchase power parity, then how much or what extent I'm allowing that MNC or its culture to influence myself, and
Manoj, what is purchasing power parity?
The purchasing power parity is the value or the power of my currency to purchase or to buy something of equivalent value which other place would have offered me. For example, if I can buy
a pen. What is the position of India in purchasing power for parity index in the world?
So it's in 3rd rank.
It is in the 3rd rank. Which is the first?
So it used to be US, but I guess it's now China.
Which country has delivered the Apache and the Chinook helicopter to the India?
So Chinook and Apache. I think it's France.
It's France. Okay.
It's France.
And what is vaccine nationalism?
I'm sorry.
Do you know about vaccine nationalism?
Vaccine nationalism?
Yeah.
So I haven't heard of it, but I think it's related to the country or the location which is trying to impose certain restrictions or.
Okay, Manoj, my last question is with you. Recently, which airport of the Uttar Pradesh has been announced as the international airport by the cabinet?
I'm sorry, sir, I do not have the exact answer. I didn't hear it.
Okay, leave it. Over to the chairperson, sir.
Manoj,
Yes, sir.
you are from Bihar.
Yes, sir.
Which area of Bihar?
So I was born in Malinagar. It's a village in Samastipur, and it's very close to the Pusa University, the first agricultural university, which has its branch even in Delhi, Karol Bagh. So, but I was there only for nearly 3.5 years. Then I did my schooling from Bhimtal. So I
Okay.
kind of have all India character.
Manoj, tell me one thing regarding the Bihar's border with Nepal.
Yes,
what is the total area of that border area? Total border area.
I'm sorry, sir, I do not know in kilometer terms.
But what are the important places in Bihar which are almost bordering Nepal?
So there are few districts. I guess it's Purnia, then the north states, north districts. Maybe
are you
Champaran.
sure of Purnia?
If not Purnia, then it should be Katihar. I guess Purnia is little down to Katihar.
You are making a guess.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I do not know because I didn't prepare for it.
You don't know, yes. Then again, tell me, that is the bordering areas of Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, sir. That I'm aware of. So we have Pilibhit. So then we have Balrampur, Siddharthnagar, Shravasti, Behraich, Siddharthnagar, Maharajganj. These are few districts which border Nepal.
What is the point of discord between India and Nepal recently?
So it's related to a place in which borders Uttarakhand. They are saying that the Lipu Lake, that particular area, it is in Nepali territory, and and they have in fact even changed their map, claiming that it's now theirs.
Any other thing?
So there is a cultural, recent cultural difference which has dropped in. It's about origin of Lord Ram. They say that's near Birganj, place, and Lord Ram was from that place.
What about Kali River?
The Kali River is also in dispute. It says that I guess the tributaries and the area surrounding it is considered in Nepal territory.
Why India is not as such exerting on Nepal or mentioning pressure on Nepal to revise Nepalese map?
Sir, I'm sure there would be something going on with the diplomatic circle, and for which we, the common citizen, are the last to know. But sir, coming from a journal perspective, from a civilian like me, I think India is exercising the greatest restraint possible because it's not dealing with Nepal. It is actually dealing with China in the form of Nepal, even when it counters it interacts with its immediate neighborhood.
Okay, Manoj, nice talking to you. The interview is over. You can go now. Manoj?
Yes, sir.
Manoj, how do you assess your performance?
Sir, I think I need to work on certain facts with respect to UP and Bihar border districts and the Labour Commission, the exact function, and also about few instances where my delivery could have been rather smooth.
Now, when is your interview?
Sir, it is now on 13th August.
13th August. Okay. So Manoj, naturally you have got plenty of time at your disposal. Another important thing that You have got very vast experience, as you have said, and concentrate on some of the important things. And that is your subject, the public administrations. Administration. As such, we have not asked any question from there, but they might ask a question also on public administration. Optional. They are asking questions from the optional. And second important thing that no doubt you in Malipur, Samastipur, you have stayed just for 3.5 years, but at the same time you are expected to know everything about Bihar. Okay, once you belong to Bihar, so work on Bihar. That is important, and also because you are going to be a part of UP civil services. So again, it is your responsibility to know everything about UP. Okay, all the important points about UP. Then one thing which you talked about particularly regarding deferment of Bihar election and also other things that is the for example MNC imperialism. Now when you tackle these kind of questions, don't go for straightforward answers. It is not objective question. These are almost interpretative. Okay, you have to use your caliber to explain these things. For example, deferment of election in Bihar, then you just said that yes, it should be immediately deferred. It should be immediately deferred. No, you have to analyze it. Okay, on the basis of all the ground reality, it should be decided. Okay, this is the first important thing. And second thing regarding the change of government. Now, change of government, just as an individual voter, you cannot go for the change of voter. It is a responsibility of all them. Okay? So, if the mass opinion is in favor of change, naturally change will be there. So, generally, don't represent yourself as the factor in change or factor in deferment. Okay, that's a very important thing. And another important thing, that is the new phase of MNC imperialism. So you started talking about purchasing power, parity, other things. It's almost you have to focus on that imperialism, MNC imperialism, and analyze that, interpret that. Don't try to open up new areas because then naturally, if it is purchasing power poverty, then another fact related to purchasing power. It's not helpful. Then regarding those helicopters, it is not France, it is US. You should be aware of that. And that's a very important thing, that if some airport has been upgraded to international level, naturally right now 2 airports are in news. One, that's a Jewar airport, okay, upcoming Jewar, and second, existing airport to be upgraded on that international level. Then you have to remember the facts or importance of that particular area. So Kushinagar is very important for that tourism. Okay, so recently it has been upgraded. So have a very good idea about that. And the last point, that is labor laws. It is not a state list, it is a concurrent list. And the honorable member has also given you the choice to revise. Do you want to revise it, or do you are you correct? You persisted with that. So please do remember that wherever you are not very sure, then take the opportunity. Otherwise, no problem. And regarding bordering areas, you have just accepted yourself that you are not very clear about that. And one more thing, that when the bordering areas from Bihar and Nepal ask from you, then that means the border dispute, and then followed by the question of border dispute. Then you should be quite interpretative and illustrative, not just 1 or 2 points. And because then I had to ask about Kali River. You should have talked about Sigali Treaty. All those things are there. Okay. And without answering the first one, you jump over to another. Sir, there is cultural thing, and then Ayodhya, and unless until that is asked. Okay. So take care of this thing, Manoj. Otherwise, you have got a very good personality. There's no doubt about that. And your confidence will increase once you prepare yourself. Okay? All the best, Manoj.